Hi, my name is Philip Beck, and the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell so you're notified when videos drop. So, something I like quite a lot. You can see behind me, I like comic books. I like comic books a lot, and I like good comic books. I like comic books that people care about, that people put a lot of passion into, people work very hard to create, and comic books that are basically just fun and exciting to read. So basically, I'm saying I like Comicsgate. I like Comicsgate a lot, and it's always just a pure thrill and of excitement for me to bring a Comicsgater on especially when they got a great ongoing project that we're going to look at. Before we get there, though, can I ask you guys? Can you hit that subscribe button? Can you hit the like button? Can you definitely hit the share button? Can it? Help me out. Help this guy out who I'm about to bring on. Hit that share button, but definitely hit the subscribe button. Now, what are you gonna get if you hit the subscribe button? Well, you get to make a rabbi happy. Now, that's something you don't get every day. And, you don't have to be using Vaseline or any backyard tactics to make a rabbi. It's quite an easy way. You just got to click that button. Now, also, you get to enter my my weekly competitions. The prize this week. Freaking awesome! I think all my prizes are awesome, but I think everything I do is awesome. So but the prize this week is freaking awesome. It is Doctor Who: The Talons of Weng Chiang from 1976. There's a bit of a ropey effect of a rat that's not very convincing or very threatening, but that's offset by Louise Jameson being absolutely gorgeous, probably like 25 at the time, and not wearing a lot of clothes during it. So all that. Swings and roundabouts. That's how I look at it. Swings and roundabouts. Fine. So there we go. So thank you. All you need to do to win it is subscribe to the channel, and in the comments leave the hashtag Mr. Sin, and you can win it. We're doing the prize room on Monday, September 7th, when I'm going to be on the TARDIS Zone, and we're going to be doing a watch along of the 2006 David Tennant Doctor Who episode, Army of Ghosts. So join us there. We're doing the prize drawing there, and we're going to pick out next week's prize. So fine, let me bring my guest on, who I'm very, very excited to bring on. It is Russ Leach, the comic black belt. How are you, sir?
I'm fine, thanks. Yes.
Very good.
We finally got rid of the rain. Sorry, what did you say?
I'm sorry? Is that a drawing in front of you, or is that... Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah. It's a Wacom. So I draw.
That's a nice one.
It's a bit old now, but it does the job.
Sorry, I kept cutting you off. Go ahead. What were you saying?
That's okay. Sorry, it's a bit of a delay, isn't there? It's an older one, but it checks out. It does a good job.
So look, tell you a little bit. You know what? I'm gonna move the window over here, so that way you're kind of looking at me. There you go. That's better. Yeah, we love the advancements of science. I can do this. I can pretend I'm looking at you, but I'm really not. I'm looking at my wall. But if I do this, I'm actually looking away from you in real life. But that's just the science of YouTubing. So Russ, let me ask you, mate. Tell me about comics. Why do you love comics? Why are you making comics? Tell me everything.
Right. Okay. I'll start from the beginning. As a boy, the first comic that I bought for myself was Captain Britain, which was done by Marvel UK. It was the first weekly comic that they did. I caught it from number one on.
The Alan Davis artwork with
no, way back
Jimmy Delino, or is it the Alan Moore one?
No, Herb Trimpe.
Wow, the Alan Moore was the first one.
No. Back in the day, 1977.
That must be like Paul Neary, I think, did the art on those ones.
Yeah. And I mean, there ended up being a run with John Buscema, but there were loads of really good artists.
With the bandana across his mouth, right?
Yeah, it was just a like a blue square. Yeah.
And then
personally, that's my favorite.
Yeah, well, yeah, it was very, like 1970s karate, kind of that karate cool then, right? So you had that big like stick that you would fight with. They did. Was it Jack? What's the name of the one that's kind of a rip-off of it? Nowhere near as good from about 10 years ago.
Union Jack. Was it Union Jack?
That's the one. Yeah.
So he was in the Defenders, wasn't he, for a while? So I just found myself falling in love with 70s and 80s comic books, Bronze Age comic books, basically. And
Where was it?
This was when I was a kid, so 19 sort of
Where
mid-70s.
where did you grow up?
In the UK.
What
So I didn't.
specifically?
In East Anglia. I'm over out near Colchester, so I live in a little village. So, but at the time, I was kind of, I was living on the Thames estuary, as it were. Not literally, because that would be very wet, but out there out that way. So comics were a big thing, a massive thing. Star Trek was rerunning on the TV, the original series with the best captain.
Was that what, 6 o'clock on Thursdays? Was it before that slot?
It was before that slot. I remember it being on in the evening. So and adoring it. But obviously Doctor Who. I used to love Doctor Who. Tom Baker is my Doctor, with John Pertwee thrown in. So I'm that little bit older. Just the sci-fi of the time was great fun. It was pure. It was all about the sci-fi.
Did you read 2000 AD, or did you give that a miss?
No, I love 2000 AD. I did pick up the first copy, although I never kept it, unfortunately. Also I bought Star-Lord as well, which ended up merging.
Oh, right. Which if you've never seen it, you've got to Google this, because Star-Lord had English comics at the time always had a character who was like the editor, the guy in charge. And 2000 had Tharg, but Star-Lord had Star-Lord, who was basically a super. It was Dave Gibbons in a really crappy costume, like the Green Cross Code Man. He was terrible, and I loved it. It was so English. It was such an English comic.
Very, very British. Yeah, it's superb stuff, and that the artwork of Brian Bolland, who you can't really see in my work, but it became very inspirational. You can certainly see it in. Sorry, no, he was in 2000 AD.
Yeah, because I don't remember him being in Star-Lord.
No, he wasn't in Star-Lord. That was mostly that was Gibbons. Carlos Esquerra, where Strontium Dog
was they coloured it so much better than they were colouring in 2000 AD.
Yeah,
it was really good.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Excellent stuff. So that whole time, but the Marvel books, really. I mean, I did obviously, I came to love Neil Adams. And so much of the stuff that was going on, Garcia and what have you, that was going on in DC. But Marvel, I think Marvel kind of tipped it for me, especially because I'd started with Captain Britain, and in Captain Britain,
it's like your first love, right?
Yeah,
it really is. It is.
100%.
You do stick with it forever.
And in Captain Britain were reruns of Fantastic Four that were inked by Joe Sinnott. And then there was Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., and so Steranko was in there, and you had Palmer and all these just greats, because they were rerunning stuff from the 60s. And
I used to love
beautiful
Sue Storm, impossibly solid hair. That hair would never move. Even when she moved head, it was
just there. So that stuff is the stuff that I love.
It had the black and white line around her.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the dotted line. Yeah. It was great stuff. And so the 90s comics as well. I love 90s comics, like Jim Lee and all that. The X-Men run. I bought all that, and then everything went dark. And don't get me wrong, I love Killing Joke. I love Watchmen. I love that kind of stuff. And as a young man, I was really keen to see dark Batman stories. But it's almost like the mainstream forgot that younger, all ages. They kind of forgot all ages. And I think it now it gets split up into young adult, kids, adult or whatever. And that's missing the trick, because you need to be something that I came back to when I was working on Doctor Who 4 or 5 years ago, is that all ages is where it's at, because you can connect with the most people. So don't talk down to your audience. Incredible. You can imagine incredible vistas and stories and still not talk down to your audience. You don't have to make it simpler.
Listen,
when I was a kid,
they managed that up until 85, right?
Exactly. When I was a kid, I learned a vocabulary from comics.
Right,
and went and looked into different things and ended up reading novels. I'd have never read Lord of the Rings if I hadn't have read, Marvel comics. So, that's kind of what I'm into, and that passion for the medium, because I think it's very special. I don't think it's anything like it. And sequential art, from a draftsman perspective, I always wanted to be in the bullpen. And I understand it never existed really, but that's what I wanted to do.
But that's what Marvel was great at. That's what Stan Lee was really great at.
Yeah.
Making that column, that letters column, where he touched all of it. I mean, not in a bad way. You got, not in a Jimmy Savile way. But he did. He was like, hey, and it was like, it was so personal. It was like an adult talking to you on like on a level, on the same level as you. Yeah. And that's why Stan Lee is so important to so many people, because they had that personal connection with him through that wonderful letters column. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah,
absolutely.
The passion was there. You felt, as a reader of comics back then, you felt like you were inside. You felt like you were part of it. You felt like a family. That's what the
did, right? You had you just thought they were kind of like in one room, and it was like it's kind of like when your teachers slept at school. On
a wider note, for what happens with comics now in the mainstream, completely take any ideology out of it. I think that there are passionate creators in mainstream comics, but the people at the top are not making comics for the sake of comics. It's all for lunch boxes or films or whatever it might be. And so that connection, you don't have any connection with the creators. You don't have any connection with the team. And because of that, they're losing ground. And the indie scene is where the passion is. We've got brand new technology. IndieGoGo and Kickstarter are effectively the new printing press. And we were able to connect directly with audiences, and people like that, and that's why people are going to indie comics. So
because again, it's where the fun is. It's where the fun is. I was really disappointed a number of years ago that DC were doing like this internship to bring in new talent, right? And they had zero interest. It turned out zero interest in the indie people making comics at the time.
No,
they were interested in people who are either working 2000 AD or YA. Anybody does YA novels, they really want to, or working on TV. Zero interest in the medium, and it's like, I think it's quite fitting that they were the first to really go down, right? They were the first to really because they didn't love what they did. I had this guy come in once to fix my air conditioning, right? And he goes, I come back in the room. He's taken the whole unit out. Next thing I know, it's on his truck. He's about to drive. I'm like, what are you doing? He said, I'll be back in a couple of days. I'm like, dude, if you think you can survive 2 days without air conditioning, then you're in the wrong freaking business. Are you out of your mind? But it's the same thing. It's like, it's very clear that these corporate, it's a combination of corporate cowardice and a complete lack of understanding and love for the medium, which we do love.
I think that's it. I think it's the passion and the love. And like I say, there are individual creators. You've got to nod to them. There are people out there in the mainstream who love what they do and want to do that. But the definitely the business aspect of it is making it so that all the passion is in indie, and there's none in the business. And what's happening is they're taking like safe routes. They're going for these, they want to go YA and what have you. And it's almost like comic books as an industry is too small for huge corporates to really get involved in. Okay. Right. So from a business perspective, I can understand that. But that doesn't mean that the industry isn't big enough for people to do well and create and make money out of it. There is an industry there. It's just not big enough for these massive corporates to really give it what it needs.
Like me, that might be true. But I think we see from Keanu Reeves crowdsourcing, which I know. I looked at the first day; it was over $250,000 already. But it's this being able to connect directly to the consumer makes such a difference. So we are seeing like Boom Studios go crowdsourcing. just for the publicity rather than anything else, and just to be you're not connecting to the audience like through the comic book stores anymore.
No, exactly, and although that's small fry compared to what Disney can make in a weekend with a big film.
Yeah,
and that's the problem. It's that disparity. I think what Boom Studios are doing, I think what they've done is they've turned up and gone, "Hey, Keanu, we've got this great idea. Do you fancy giving it a go?" And he's gone, "Yeah, all right." And then they've gone and done it.
I'm not sure if they approached him or he approached. It seems to be that Keanu wanted to have something that he owned after John Wick. He's like, yes, there's a lot of money to be made there.
Yeah, and that's fair enough. That's fair enough. My personal perspective is, although they are selling it on Amazon as well at the same time they're doing a Kickstarter, so you can pick it up for $15.99 with free postage in the US for the first volume, which is cheaper than you can get it on Kickstarter, and that's naughty. That I don't like that.
Yeah.
However, that aside, big business, nasty corporates aside, okay. Concentrate on your own thing. For all those people out there that are screaming foul, just focus on your own creativity. Focus on your own work.
Don't be counting other people's money.
There's always going to be someone who's bigger than you. Always. Yeah,
exactly. Someone's going to be more successful than you. Yeah. And here's the truth: you're never going to have enough money. Okay, no matter how rich you are, you're never ever going to have enough money. It's just the way the world is. So fine, you grew up loving comics. So are you a writer or an artist or both?
Well, I'm both now.
Right.
I submitted to Marvel in around the mid '90s.
Right.
And they accepted me. The new talent manager accepted me, but it just didn't work. And we were back in snail mail back then, and things just weren't working for me. I hadn't drawn for 2000 AD or anyone big, so I was kind of entering the market new, and it just didn't happen. So I went away and had a career. And I was an art director and a designer, UI designer, programmer, had my own business, and that all stopped around 2009. And I decided I was going to give it another go. I was going to have a go at illustrating.
I made the same decision in 2016. No, 2015. Yeah. The absolute worst moment. Absolute worst moment for a white man who believes in God to try and enter the industry.
Yes, there's some boxes to be ticked every now and then, isn't there?
Yeah. And I ticked all the wrong ones.
Yeah. So I came back then and tried my hand. What I did was I actually sold up. I had a very supportive wife, and we bought a house half the size and got rid of a lot of financial pressures so that I could take chances and really push it, really go for it. And I managed to do.
This something is though.
So I did some. I did some independent comics. I worked for Unstoppable Comics, who hail out of the US, out of New York. That's JD Rosario, and those guys were doing diversity way before Marvel thought it was a good idea. Okay, he does, and he's still doing it, and he's got a diverse team because obviously I'm on it. He himself is Hispanic. I work with Mike Summers, who's black from America. So but and he's. But he didn't have to tell me. We just got on, and he's a great guy. And Mike,
that was the point I'm going to say. You've got to work really hard to not be diverse.
Yeah, exactly.
It's basically impossible. And
it's impossible.
Arsehole as well.
Yeah. So we, I've been, and he works with other artists as well from all over the world, and also the content that he puts together is he uses cultural aspects to create superheroes. So his work, I love Unstoppable. I love JD. I love Mike Summers. I love all the people that work on that. Like I was saying, they would, go check them out. They were doing it properly. They had and still are doing it properly without all the virtue signaling and the crap. They were doing it properly.
So you said you worked on Doctor Who?
Yeah, I was. Like I said,
please say what you're going to say.
I was really fortunate to work with Unstoppable, and then I ended up working for Marcosia, doing a couple of graphic novels there. I did some bits and pieces. You know how it is. You get yourself around, and eventually, because I'd worked previously with and this is the way the comics industry does work, because I'd worked previously with the editor who ended up working on Doctor Who Adventures. He brought me in and said, I'd love you to do this, because Panini got Doctor Who Adventures from the previous publisher, and I worked on it for...
Right.
Yeah, so I worked on it for 2.5 years straight, and then I did a Jodie Whittaker spring adventure last year, but that doesn't run anymore. So I got to work every month I was doing a Doctor Who strip, and that was wonderful. That was great. I was getting paid a page rate. I was a proper story. I met lots of brilliant writers, and again, all ages, never spoke down to the kids. It was a good, solid British comic.
So this was
it was really good. Yeah, it was all Capaldi, and then I got to throw in a couple of memories of Tom Baker, which was brilliant. And I got to draw Jodie Whittaker right at the end, but it was 99% Peter Capaldi, who has a brilliant face to draw. Lots of character. So I did that, and then I ended up...
I mentioned my audience, mostly like me, can't stand the Jodie Whittaker Doctor Who. Just can't stand it with every fibre of their being.
I mean, I'm in it. You know, obviously I've been there and worked for everybody, and job's a job. I'm not keen, to be honest, on the new series since Capaldi left. It just doesn't interest me. It's boring. And both my kids, who are...
That's the biggest crime. It's dull and ditch water.
It was so dull. It was so... Yeah. My son started watching Doctor Who with me, and my daughter as well, and they both got turned off by it.
Right, it breaks your heart. I love watching Doctor Who with my kids. It absolutely broke my heart. So it's like not dull as ditch water, not something dull as ditch water, which you can go and back today, and I would recommend highly, is this wonderful campaign, Only Death Can Save Us. So listen, Russ, I'm just thinking... 1 second. Yeah, it opened up. I'm just thinking on the fly. We'll go through the concept of the book and everything. If you want to add a tier which has some kind of Doctor Who-y content, like a postcard, I think my audience would go for that big time. I have up for that.
I have. What I'll do is after the show, I'll send you a couple of images from Doctor Who. I do have several A4 prints that I have available, so that'll be a limited run. But I also have some A3 ink prints that are of pages of I've forgotten his name. I'm sorry. Alzheimer's gets me. I'm getting old, and I don't have a lot of room in my head for everything.
Oh, believe me, I have boomer moments all the time.
The writer I work with, he was producer at the end with the Last Doctor in the 80s. Cavan.
Oh, Cavan Scott.
Yeah, Cavan Scott. Yeah, that's it. Scott. Yeah, and it's got his signature on there. So yeah.
So look, think about how you want to price that. If you add that into a tier, I would make that a more expensive tier if I was you. Okay. So look, tell me a bit about this book, and we'll start looking through it.
Okay. Well, it's a Bronze Age inspired cosmic fantasy romp. So I'll read the pitch for you. So Only Death Can Save Us is a Bronze Age inspired cosmic fantasy romp, bringing together action and pathos as the ancient elemental known as Death leaps from his ethereal retirement to help a young soul protect her loved ones, her world, and even existence itself. It's
oh my god! You're doing this with Tim Quinn?
Yes, Tim Quinn. Yes, I work with Tim Quinn. Yeah. Tim Quinn's awesome.
Yeah, he is well known. Yes.
Yeah, so I work with Jason Quinn, who's his brother. He was the editor on Doctor Who. And and so I've managed to work with Tim on lots of projects, charity projects and all kinds of stuff. It keeps me honest. I can feel, he does so many fantastic projects, and he does such a lot for Liverpool Heartbeat and the whole area. And it's really superb to work with him. He's an absolute brilliant person. I love him. He's so funny as well, and he's editing on this for me.
Excellent. I know him from Doctor Who magazine from the 80s when he used to do this like little 3-page strip, 2-3
that's
panel
right.
strip. Yeah, it's great.
with Ricky Howard. Yeah. Very irreverent. He's very anti-mainstream, is our Tim. He's a rebel. He's always been a rebel. Always will be a rebel. Love him.
So fine, yeah. Tell me that by the way, explain what Bronze Age is for anybody who doesn't know.
Right. Okay. Anywhere between sort of 70s to possibly mid 80s. Comic books.
Before Watchmen. Everything before Watchmen.
Yeah, and after 1970, basically, it's a big stretch, and it had a certain style to it. There were lots of different artists with lots of different styles, but it was always clear. It was always
in it is probably the Bronze Age, right? People were like generally nice to each other. The world was there wasn't a great conspiracy by governments to
kill everybody.
Yeah. That's really kind of got me fun. This looks so much fun. This looks like, again, all ages. A ton. If you have kids, I would really recommend going out and ordering one. Why order one? Oh, if you have a bunch of kids, they're going to fight over it. Buy a copy for each kid.
It's definitely the case that the Bronze Age. People talk about, don't put politics in my comic books, and then you'll get the other side saying there's always been politics in comic books, and it's like, yes, there has always been politics in comics books. In the Bronze Age, they put politics in, but they didn't put ideology in.
Yeah, that's a big difference. Absolutely,
there's a difference. They let you make your own mind up, and they entertained you, and that's what I find most inspiring about the whole Bronze Age aspect. And going into the 90s as well, but that was very bombastic. It's all about the entertainment. It's all about like fun. You're going to read a book and you're going to go, yeah, that was great fun. These books don't have to change your life. They just have to entertain you.
Exactly. So this is a good package. I'm just going to see what we got. Is 80? Is it 80 story pages or 80 pages?
It's 60 pages of story, plus
that's
20
book, right? Plus story pages, right?
Plus 20 pages of gallery. So I've got like pin-ups in there. I've got character definitions. I've got some concept stuff as well. It will be 80 plus. It will be 80 plus because I want to make it look nice. As I design as well, so I'm going to present it in a certain way. So it will end up 80 plus. Yes.
Right. By the way, if you're going to back it, this £40 here, it sounds awesome. This is the one you want for everything. That's a great tier you got there.
I've got some excellent artists to jump in and do some guest pin-ups for me, and I provide them as black and white print so that you can really appreciate the inking.
Oh, lovely.
But they'll be coloured inside in retro golden Bronze Age type colouring. But the actual pin-ups are black and white. I'm waiting for the last one to come in because the man is very, very busy. Rob Willis,
very nice.
who is a fantastic artist. But the other three fantastic artists are Renzo Rodriguez, who recently worked on Pandemic. Mike Emmerich,
your boy Zach's book, right?
Yeah. Mike Emmerich, who's a fabulous artist, indie artist, and Amrit Birdie. I think he worked on Username Eve, which was a big thing a couple of years ago, and he's just a solid professional. So I got these guys to do that for me. I've also got some guest coloring in places. It's I wanted to have that variety in there so that people could appreciate the characters from different perspectives.
Yeah, I hear it. So who can only death save us from?
Only death can save us. Death and the other horsemen. They're not what you think they are. It's deep antiquity and cosmic framing, as it were. It's the universe began a long time ago, and these guys were there when it began, and it was after several ages of universes, and the big bad guy was exiled because of it. And you will see him in this book, and effectively there's a whole 8-page preview here of the book, so you can get an idea. And this is where you meet Chrissy, who comes to death.
Well, before we really get in, I just want to talk about this panel. Freaking love it. It's the first page of the book. I love this panel. This panel is awesome. It's fun. It's exciting. It's everything kids would like to read. Like, it's an all-age book. You know, I love it. I absolutely love it.
I love the X-Men cartoon from the 90s, as everybody does.
Yes.
And the great thing about that was that it had serious undertones to it, but it was a Saturday morning cartoon. It was entertaining, and I think that kids are spoken down to too often in books, and all ages books you should be able to pick up and enjoy for lots of different reasons. And just like the old, not so much now, but the first few Pixar films that really came out, they came out on 2 levels, and even The Simpsons to a degree was kind of like you could have an adult joke in there and it not be explicit. You know, you could be watching it with your kids and you could pick up on something that they didn't, you know.
I get the feeling now most people working in entertainment don't have kids or know what kids are other than to rape them. Apparently, they seem to be. It never really occurred to me, but they seem to be really into it, which is a bit weird.
It's just all a bit. The whole world's gone bonkers. It's probably my age, but yeah.
I could afford this tier 150 pages to get an original page of art.
Yeah, I've got 10 of those. So what I do, as you saw earlier, you talking about my Wacom. Most of the time, I work digitally. Right. I will be producing 11 pages of. So it will be mixed media. So I will be producing them digitally. Then I'll print them out and then ink them over the top, so that you've got the actual piece of artwork. So it is unique. It is from the book. It's a real piece of artwork. I've got 11 of those. 10 of them go with a book, and the last one goes as a collector's bundle if there's anyone out there who really wants it. And that comes with a sketch. I'm doing an A4 sketch.
Second, and I have to correct you, right? You said if anybody out there really wants it, that's the wrong attitude, man. There's going to be thousands of people out there who really want it, and they have to fight over it for the right to get it. This is, this is, it's. The great thing about IndieGoGo, the great thing about Kickstarter is that you're not just buying a comic. You are buying somebody's dream, right? You're buying somebody's aspirations, and that's not easy to get into, right? That's the, So I listen. That if you're out there, you can afford this bundle. £350 for that isn't bad. So tell me what's in that bundle.
Well, so you get 2 books. You get one to keep, one to read.
Right.
You'll get my A4, my A3. Poster, which is like double magazine size, double magazine spread that I've done and colored. Then you'll get the 4 black and white prints. You get an A4, so the size of a magazine, a bit bigger than American comics. An A4 sketch, so pen and ink sketch that I'll do of one of the characters. You also get the 11th page of original page art, and you also get a 50 by 50 centimeter color canvas of the artwork from the front cover.
The front cover also. So listen, I'm just going to suggest this to you out there in YouTube land. For £350, you get to have a great book that you give to your 8-year-old kid who's going to freaking love it. You read it first before you give it to him. But then you're going to keep another one. You're going to seal it, right? And you're going to keep it with the artwork, and you're going to keep it with all the other stuff that goes with it. Keep it sealed. When the kid's about to get married, give him that package. He can sell it. That 350 will be 35,000 minimally.
Oh, I hope that would be great. That would be superb.
It's an investment for your child's marriage, for your child's future. Go now for £350 buy-in. I tell you can't. Listen, stocks may go up and down. This is the physical stuff last. I love this page though. This is great. I love your designer death as well.
I took away the cloak. It was all about them being these warriors, the warriors of light, the pillars of creation, and the supreme, who is effectively God, I suppose,
Right.
is there pushing them on, and they're a force for good. And then
Right.
through the mists of time, they get confused by alien races and human races. I mean, Death's skull is completely coincidental. That's just the way he looks.
Well, but
And
this is what I like, that you've taken a kind of that's a traditionally dark character, you made him into an all ages character, and you retained that edge to him, that made him interesting with that skull. I think it really worked. Listen, I look, I hope this does well enough that you can make some action figure or some
that would be superb.
What so good for that.
What I'd really like to do, I'd like to run a 3 or 4. I think it's going to be 4 books, a 4-book arc.
Right.
Then I'd like to do a black and white hardback, so that you just get the inks and the lettering.
That'd be nice. That'd be beautiful.
I'd love to do that. And at that point in time, if I'm getting enough response, then yes, I'll definitely do some action figures. Unstoppable Comics I was talking about earlier have done that, and they've had good responses.
So I just want to point out, I love your little Kirby-esque black dots over here.
A bit of Kirby Crackle.
Yeah,
that's going in.
Yeah, freaking love it. Love it. I love this page. It's got that Kirby cosmicness really down. It's lovely. It's really nice.
That's the idea. It's just that those are things I loved. I mean, when I got taken on, when I got accepted via the new talent manager at Marvel, I was very much trying to be a Jim Lee clone.
Right.
And when I came back to trying it again in 2008-10, it took me a little time, but I realized I'd matured. For instance, I wasn't keen on Kirby back in the 90s and when I was younger. Now I adore him. He's obvious. Just his genius is so obvious to me now. And so it takes some maturity. Certainly in my particular case, it's not like that for everyone, but it took some maturity and some ability to see other artists and other art styles in a new way, to appreciate all kinds of styles, whether I like them or not, to appreciate them for what they are. And it helped me create my own style. So this is purely my style, generated out of my love of comics.
That's something I like about this, because it has this unique look. I like this character, by the way. Who is she?
That's Chrissy. She's going on the journey with D. That's D is Death. That's her name. She ends up calling him D. So D and Chrissy are going on this journey, and although you can read the whole book as one if you really want to, there is a twist at the end which leads us into another book, which leads us on the arc.
Right. Okay, sounds good. But a bit more Kirby crap. But I love this. I like all your inking in the background. It's really good. By the way, her hand on the glass there, you're really selling it. Are you doing the colors as well?
I am, yes. Yeah.
Really nice work. Really, really nice work.
Thank you. I wanted to go. I mean, there are so many great colorists. I mean, Mike Summers, who I work with a lot, colored the front cover because I wanted something slightly different for the front cover. But the interiors, I wanted to give it that Bronze Age feel. And if I could have done,
you do feel a difference. I'm looking at it right now.
You
definitely feel a difference.
If I could have done, I'd have gone newsprint as well. But unfortunately, it's just the prices are restrictive.
Yeah,
so I can't do it.
What they do, I think, was it the DC are doing like their legacy editions? They print it on this paper that doesn't self-destruct like newsprint, but has that kind of texture, and they print on it like that. They also have print on the texture as well. That's crazy amount.
It is ridiculous. So, but what I will be doing is I'll be using like an 80 GSM matte, so it won't be shiny. So you'll get to appreciate the colors.
Right. Yeah, no, very cool, very cool. So I just got to the in production bit. I like this bit the best. I always like the in productions, the background stuff the most. I find it most interesting.
Well, you can. What I'm doing is I've got a playlist on my channel of making a graphic novel, and it goes right the way back to when I started writing. and all the thumbnails and all that kind of stuff. So it's not retroactive. It's actually while I was doing it, because I was been planning this for a while. And what I'm doing now, not this week because it's just been a whirlwind after the launch, but what I am doing is putting up screen captures of me doing individual panels. So there's a couple of pencils up there and one ink, and I'll be doing another one next week, so that people can see, the process and how it's happening.
I love the canvas as well. Again, listen, you want something cool for your kid? Yeah, you get the book, you get the canvas, you put it up in there. It's gonna be great. It's fantastic. I love it. I absolutely love it. Let's see where we are. So, are you funded yet? You're not funded yet, right?
No, not funded yet. But I did do. I did 36% in my first 36 hours, 30% in my first 36 hours. So I was really humbled by that and impressed. And the support that I'm getting around the indie scene is fantastic.
Have you got many other channels yet to promote it?
Yeah, I've been on a few. I go on. I've got my own show. You're coming on, by the way.
Yes, is it absolutely. 100%.
Is it just us? Yeah. Is it just us? That's on a Monday night at the moment. Okay. That's going to move to Sunday so that we can get more of our American cousins on. Okay. So I do that, and I do a show with Rotten Glory on a Thursday for the moment. I'm Thursday co-host, but I've also been on Michael Bancroft's show. On launch night. I went on with Marshall Lee, who's a superb artist. I was briefly on with Clint Stoker. Sweetcast, who's he's such a cool guy. I love him. I was also on with Wise Guys, who's doing this great thing where he's pretty much like what you're doing here, is interviewing people and getting, drilling down. So yeah, I've been on quite a few shows, and I've got some invites to some others as well, very kindly. And obviously yourself invited me on, and it's a bit of a roller coaster.
It just kills me if you can get yourself on like Ethan's channel, like you'll go from wherever you're up now, you go from like 4,000 to 40,000 in that one shot, right?
I mean, yeah, it's if I didn't come to Comicsgate and identify myself as Comicsgate. I'm an indie creator. But my mind is open, and all the people that I've met in Comicsgate so far have been so kind, have been so generous with their time.
Yeah, 100%. Honestly, I'm happy to use the hashtag. I use the Fandom Menace hashtag. Yeah. Just because I haven't met anybody being a dick.
No, I don't. I've been watching for a long time. I've been doing stuff, and seeing what's going on, and I've just not seen. A couple of arseholes and some off-color comments and jokes do not a hate group make.
Exactly.
It's like there's arseholes everywhere.
Exactly.
And people that are using this tag, I don't use it myself personally because I'm not kind of a labely kind of person.
No, but yeah, you don't use it yourself personally.
I haven't used it myself personally because I'm not keen on labels, as it were. But I will retweet Comicsgate stuff, and I will thank Comicsgate people, and I will say hail Comicsgate, because the people that this is just my personal thing, because I'm not a labely kind of person, but everybody I've met so far has been so decent and so kind with their time, that how could I possibly be anything? For instance, you introduced me as Comicsgate, and I'm cool with that. I don't care. That's absolutely no. If that's what you want to call me, because
here,
because I don't care. Okay, it's about people. It's about communication. It's about talking. It's about a reasonable discussion. It's about being able to disagree and still be friends. And there's not enough of that.
I will say, most importantly, it's about great comics, which this is. I love this page.
It is about great comics, and there are so many great comics out there in Comicsgate. I can't ignore that because I've bought so many of the bloody ones.
Right.
I've got Downcast here. There you go. I bought that. I just backed Fatal. Mary Boys. Oh my God, what a fantastic book that is. That's from CG UK. Again, these guys approached me to say hello.
Right.
And they're just so great. They're just so nice. They had me on their show the other day. So I mean, I've probably already been branded Comicsgate by
That's
people
the thing.
who
That's
hate
the thing.
Comicsgate.
There is guilt by association.
Guilt
You
by
know?
association, simply because I'm open-minded and I will speak to anyone and talk to anyone. Now,
Right.
if you're not open-minded enough to appreciate that, then okay, go away. I'll forgive you when you come back.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
You know?
I just want to talk to you about this page. I love, I like it in color, but I love these inks. They're so cool.
Thank you. Again, it's that Bronze Age sort of.
Right. I love it.
I've had people say to me that it's a brave style because you can't cross-hatch your way out of a problem.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can't.
absolutely. You
Yeah.
need to know what you're doing. 100%.
Yeah, and that's not to put down anybody who has that kind of style, obviously, but it is, you've got to get it right. We'll jump off the page and it will scream, "This looks awful."
Speaking of somebody who's drawn comics and not really knowing what they're doing, cross-hatching saves a lot. Especially a manga studio, or they got a paint where they have a cross-hatch tool, which
they do. Yeah,
and it saves you so much freaking time.
I like to use the digital tools in a way that I would use traditional tools.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's basically how they're made.
Yeah,
I like this one. You give me this away as a print, I believe. This
that's right. Yeah,
I did. Oh, I didn't know those are all like the mounds of dead people in front of them.
mounds of dead demons. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, all this strikes me as the sort of thing that you'll find on a packet of Watsits in 1978. Right?
This has got this is in sort of half inspired by the Dark Judges spread by Brian Bolland.
Right. Oh, cool.
Because,
I love that.
Because there were 4 of them and they've got all those dead bodies in front.
And
so there is
killed in their own different ways. I used to love.
Yeah.
That's I would say the best page of Judge Dredd ever made, and I think ever will be made, is the Gaze into the Fist of Dread panel.
Yeah. It's like straight through. It's gone straight out the back of his helmet.
Yeah, Brian Bolland at his best, I think. I do like how you're making Pestilence a female character. There's no commentary there, I'm sure.
There's none whatsoever. She just seemed to
trouble. Yeah, views on my own. Don't call Russ with my horrible views.
Originally, she was Conquest,
right?
Because there is another character called War. Right. I think the concept for it is there. But when Rick Hoskin came on board to do the dialogue for me, so I've written the script, and Rick Hoskin, who is he's actually the 2018 I think Dragon Award winner. He's worked for Dynamite and Boom and people like that, and the big companies as well. I think he's worked on Superman and stuff. I'd worked with him on Doctor Who, and we've kind of done a few things together, and he offered to help me out, and so he's kind of readjusting the dialogue slightly, and it's polishing it, and it's just superb. And he suggested that maybe she should be Pestilence. I had some other ideas for Death, and he simplified them for me and said maybe you could go this way, and I took his advice. So she's now Pestilence, not Conquest, and it just works better within the story. So
I'm just wishing that Masters of the Universe was this instead. You know, it's just so much better.
Thank you. I was thinking that the other day about the toys, because like Skeletor and He-Man, how they were all really buff. It's like Death would work really well in that kind of
exactly.
Model.
That's what, so let's look at his design a little bit more. Which named it's great. I like the shoulder pad. Is that like a fighting stuff he's got in his back?
Yes, it's his scythe.
Oh, cool! Of course.
So what happens is it pops out.
Right.
So the blade just pops out, and I've actually got a moment in the book where he brings it out, and there's like a 2-shot, of him with it, and then he goes and it pops out. So.
And this is Chrissy. Okay, she's dressed in like a superhero outfit here. But she's like,
this is Chrissy in a form. Yes.
Okay, so this is probably a future Chrissy that we're going to come across. And this is the character War who you're talking about. I love it.
That was War.
Hammer. There you go, Battle Hammer. I love all this stuff. This looks so much fun. Okay, let's go back to the campaign page again. Although whenever I open a page, my computer freezes. Let's see if we go. We're doing okay so far. There we go. Open up. I'll go up to the title page. Fine. Okay, fine. So look, the link for this campaign is in the video notes. Please, I beseech you to go, just click on it. Go and have a look. See if it's something that appeals to you. It's something that absolutely appeals to me. It really is. I'm in that phase right now where like I would buy this for my kids and I would read it and I enjoy it more than them, which I did a lot. But I'm in that dead zone now where my kids are. My youngest is like 17, 18, and I'm waiting for my kids. So so I got about 6 to 8 years before. But this looks. I mean, I know I have a lot of parents in the audience. This is this again so much fun. This is what comics is supposed to be. Okay, if you're going to choose a tier, I would choose this one, the full print set as well. But
give me a couple of days, okay, and I'll let you know, and I'll put up a secret tier and give you the link to it with some Doctor Who
content.
Swag.
Excellent. Yes, because we like to do. Excellent, fine. So I was going to post this tomorrow on Saturday, but listen, I just whenever you can, I'll add it into the video notes. Fine. So here, look, let me just scroll up again so you see that only death can save us. Which is a really fun title as well. I really, really enjoy it. Listen, Russ, mate, I wish you nothing but success. I hope that
Thank you.
I hope you hit your goal and triple it and quadruple it and times it by 10. And then, you have enough to fund the next 2 books. Because honestly, you deserve it. You absolutely deserve it. It's so fun. So good luck. Yeah, good luck. Look, come back when the campaign finishes. And I will. See you sitting on a big pile of money,
that would be lovely. That would be the way.
In the Hobbit. Fine. So there you go. I would say indie comic spotlight, not comic gate. Indie comics gate, whatever. Spotlight of a great fun comic. I really recommend you guys click on the link. Click on the link right now. It's down there. Click on the link. Go check out the campaign and back it. Make it a reality. We want to see this comic become a reality. Thank you very much as well. Fine, I think I'm going to sign off. My name is Phelan Benkin. His name is Russ Leach. But I'm the only one who is a rabbi, and I'm the only one who's from. I'm assuming you're not a rabbi, right?
No, I'm not a rabbi.
Okay, no, he's not a rabbi. And you're from Asia. You're not. Yeah, you're from. What do you say, Colchester? No, where is it?
I'm in the UK. I'm near Colchester.
You're
east of England.
Colchester. It's kind of like another planet, but really not. Really not. Right. My name is Phelan Benkin, the rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, subscribe. Do share this. Share this as much as you can because I really want to get word out there. Like, share, and subscribe. And if you're gonna do that, hit the subscribe button as well. And have yourselves a fantastic day.